Sustainability in the Finance Industry as it relates to J.P. Morgan, Allstate, and New York Life by Jonathan Joaquin, Rosetta Howard Jackson, Philip Fisher, and Kyle Davenport. Sustainability is an approach to business that is increasingly becoming the norm. The goal is to create long-term value by taking into consideration how a company operates in the social and ecological environments. The banks and financial service companies are grappling with many complex sustainability issues today, from fossil fuel company financing to global climate change risk. Here we explain how J.P. Morgan, Allstate, and New York Life are able to balance those sustainability efforts between social performance and environmental performance. We will discuss what each organization does well and where they have some opportunities to improve. We will also identify and explain the top 3 social and environmental issues that we have found and provide some recommendations on how these organizations might address these issues. Environmental issues. J.P. Morgan does much in the way of helping to fund environmental projects such as those necessary to meet the UN Sustainable Development Goals. However, they do not spend nearly as much time and energy on environmental initiatives as they do on social ones, and it may be beneficial for them to increase their environmental programs. What they do well is financing. In 2020, they've facilitated $200 billion in financing to drive action on climate change. They've also underwrote approximately $14.6 billion in green bonds and bonds with sustainable use proceeds in 2019. They can improve by further advancing their environmental initiatives and developing new, more hands-on approaches rather than simply providing funds. Allstate often talks about their commitment to environmental wellness. However, they do a relatively poor job of clearly listing the initiatives they have committed to. They have helped decrease climate risk through various investments in different climate initiatives, and they are working toward transitioning a lot of their offices to more sustainable futures. They can improve by focusing a little bit more on the environment and expanding their portfolio to encompass more environmental friendly projects. New York Life has invested a large amount of money and time into their attempt of transitioning their entire business to a sustainable business structure that includes cutting down carbon emissions, decreasing their usage of paper products, and transitioning to more environmentally friendly products. There is room for them to expand their environmental programs into initiatives that seek to help larger problems rather than just their own sustainability. However, they did reduce carbon emissions by 4.4% since 2018. In the first quarter of 2020, they've saved 66,688 pounds of plastic, 2,560 pounds of CO2, and 5,721 pounds of landfill was prevented. They can improve by dedicating more time and resources to other environmental issues and support existing environmental products. As far as social performance, J.P. Morgan Chase does much to improve the lives of their stakeholders and in areas of community development. Each year they invest millions of dollars on initiatives such as backing neighborhoods, businesses, programs, and ideas to move communities forward. They have programs that inspire local workforce training, reforming hiring rules, promoting entrepreneurship for small businesses and communities of color. There is room to grow, however, in the areas such as further support in MDIs, which are minority depository institutions. For Allstate. Allstate has the longest running national campaign for ending domestic violence. The program empowers survivors to break the cycle. Through their youth empowerment program, they enable youth to focus on social and emotional learning skills. Much is needed in the way of advancement of racial equality. Allstate is advancing their One Team program, which is committed to upskilling and hiring and promoting 1 million Black Americans over the next 10 years. New York Life. In giving back to the community, New York Life allows for employees to give their time, talent, and resources. The firm has been innovative in leading the way and founders of the Coalition to Support Grieving Students. The company ensures financial security and inclusion in areas specifically serving Black, South Asian, Chinese, Korean, Latino, and Vietnamese families across the country. There is more room needed for investment in low-income areas to help reduce poverty among grieving children. Support of public policy changes still need to be boosted. Some of our industry recommendations. The top three in environmental and social issues that we have found in the financial industry today are climate change, employee welfare, and diversity. We're seeing an increase in the frequency of catastrophic events worldwide that much of the scientific community links to climate change. The economic impact of a single catastrophic event is untold. In order to combat the impact of these events, we recommend that companies set aside catastrophic event funds to restore communities after such events occur. We see this somewhat now, however, it's often seen as advertising and marketing ploy rather than a true CSR initiative. Our recommendation would set this as a requirement. We would also like to see more relaxed lending requirements to those affected. Lending involves risk based on the borrower's ability to pay back funds. However, in times of catastrophe, this can be seen as or done as goodwill. All three companies that we've studied had well-published issues with disgruntled employees. The issues varied somewhat, but included long work hours and poor communication with management. We recommend that clear employee communication channels be mandated. Employees who feel that they are treated right and fairly make it known. When employees move on, recommendations move on with them. Clear communication channels lets employees know that they're being heard, and that's important to everyone. In terms of diversity, several financial giants, including these three, have been subject to lawsuits where women claimed they were not afforded the same opportunities as their male counterparts. To combat this, we recommend that programs be put into place to not only help develop talented minority employees, but create a diversity board to make sure this type of discrimination does not happen again.